Beneath the sea, there is a city, a dream, a nightmare, a graveyard of ambition and madness. Today, we explore the heights of human innovation to the depths of absolute ruin. Welcome to the Laboratory. But to tell this story, we must begin in the past. In the aftermath of World War II, as the world turned towards rebuilding, one man turned away: Andrew Ryan, a wealthy industrialist disgusted by governments, religion, and regulation. He dreamt of a society where the great would not be constrained by the small. Using his immense fortune, Ryan commissioned the construction of Rapture, an underwater city hidden deep beneath the Atlantic Ocean. By the early 1950s, Rapture was complete. An Art Deco metropolis powered by advanced technology, designed to be a capitalist utopia, free from moral restrictions. Scientists, artists, entrepreneurs, the best of humanity were secretly invited to populate it. And initially, Rapture thrived. New technology, art, and scientific breakthroughs flourished without ethical boundaries. But with unchecked freedom comes chaos. While working in Fontaine's futuristic labs, Dr. Bridget Tenenbaum made a groundbreaking discovery. A rare sea slug produced a substance called Adam, capable of rewriting human DNA. With Adam, individuals could manipulate their own biology, heal faster, become stronger, and even develop superhuman abilities. Soon after, plasmids, genetic serums granting powers like telekinesis and fire projection, hit the market. Adam became the lifeblood of Rapture's economy. However, the human body demanded more and more Adam to sustain genetic modifications. Those addicted to it began to degrade, physically and mentally, mutating into violent, deranged splicers. Tenenbaum and Yu Suchong, desperate for a renewable Adam source, developed a horrifying solution. They implanted the sea slugs directly into the stomachs of orphaned young girls, creating the first Little Sisters, human Adam factories. Amid the growing instability, one man rose as Andrew Ryan's greatest threat: Frank Fontaine. Operating under the company Fontaine Futuristics, Fontaine controlled vast Adam supplies and used philanthropy like setting up orphanages to recruit loyalty from the underprivileged. Fontaine created an underclass in Rapture, stirring resentment against Ryan's elite. Ryan, obsessed with maintaining control, declared Fontaine a criminal. A civil war simmered beneath the surface. Frank Fontaine faked his death during a police raid, disappearing from public view. Secretly, he reinvented himself as Atlas.
Every time we get a yard ahead, Ryan goes and moves the goal line down to the other side of the field.
The charismatic leader of the growing underclass rebellion. On New Year's Eve, 1958, everything unraveled. Atlas launched a full-scale uprising. Splicers flooded the streets. Security systems collapsed. The once proud halls of Rapture became blood-soaked battlegrounds. Andrew Ryan responded with brutal force, weaponizing the city's automated defenses and destroying splicers loyal to him. The dream of Rapture died that night. Meanwhile, Tenenbaum, horrified by her role in creating the Little Sisters, began secretly rescuing them. With the help of a reprogrammed Big Daddy named Subject Delta. Fast forward to 1960. A plane crashes over the mid-Atlantic. The lone survivor, a man named Jack, swims to a mysterious lighthouse. Descending inside, he discovers a bathysphere terminal. The bathysphere carries Jack deep underwater, into Rapture. But his arrival is no accident. Upon entering, Jack is contacted via radio by Atlas, who pleads for help. Would you kindly help me save my family? Following Atlas' advice, Jack heads toward the medical pavilion. Here, we meet Dr. J.S. Steinman, once Rapture's top surgeon. Steinman became obsessed with perfection after exposure to Adam, seeking artistic surgeries without any medical necessity. He rants about beauty, mutilating patients into grotesque shapes.
Aphrodite is walking the halls, shimmering like a scalpel. Steinman, she calls. Steinman, I have what you're looking for. Just open your eyes, and when I see her, she cuts me into 1,000 beautiful pieces.
There are audio diaries that reveal his descent. He initially believed plastic surgery could be revolutionary. After splicing, he saw angels and became increasingly deranged. Jack ultimately kills Steinman in an operating theater surrounded by the bloody remnants of his work.
The nose looks terrific, Dr. Steinman. Doctor?
You know, looking at it now, I didn't realize how much her face sags. Scalpel?
Excuse me?
Scalpel.
Doctor, she's not booked for a facelift.
Let's just come in here and...
Doctor, stop cutting. Doctor, stop cutting. Get me the chief of surgery. Get me the chief of surgery now!
Jack next travels to Neptune's Bounty, Rapture's fishing district. Here, he encounters Peach Wilkins, a former smuggler turned paranoid splicer. Wilkins was once loyal to Atlas, but grew distrustful after splicing wrecked his mind. He demands Jack prove he's not a spy by collecting photos of splicers using the research camera, one of many collectible tools that encourage exploration. Eventually, Wilkins betrays Jack and must be defeated deep within the freezing cold of his smuggler's den. Throughout this section, Jack learns that smuggling religious artifacts and outside goods into Rapture was a major cause of its downfall, fracturing Ryan's control. Finally, all the danger and turmoil we endured, the endless suffering we've seen and endured, there seems to be a light at the end of this tunnel. We find the bathysphere with Atlas's family. However, a fuse blows and the suspense builds. Ryan talks over the radio and sends splicers to attack the bathysphere. Atlas begging and pleading for help. And just when you think you've reached him, the unthinkable happens.
You ooze in like an assassin, and then you try to sneak out like a thief. You're no CIA spook. Who are you? Why have you come here? There's two ways to deal with a mystery. Uncover it, or eliminate it.
Moira. Patrick. Ain't that just like Ryan? Waits
until we're almost out, then he pulls the string. We'll find the bastard. We'll find him, and we'll tear his heart out.
Jack escapes Neptune's bounty and proceeds to Arcadia, but faces a new crisis. Ryan releases a toxin to kill Arcadia, Rapture's massive forest ecosystem. Without Arcadia's oxygen, everyone will suffocate. Here we meet Dr. Julie Langford, a botanist and former government scientist. Through Langford's autodiaries, we learn she once believed Rapture could be self-sustaining. She believed Arcadia's plant life to maintain breathable air. She grew disillusioned with Ryan's regime over time. As Jack helps Langford prepare a chemical countermeasure, Ryan releases poisonous gas into her lab, killing her. And with her final moments of life, she traces the code to her safe into the window as she dies. Jack uses her final formula to restore Arcadia's life. As Jack proceeds towards Ryan's base, he is trapped in Fort Frolic, an entertainment district. Here, he meets Sander Cohen, an artist turned insane warlord. Once a celebrated playwright and musician, Cohen snapped under the isolation of Rapture's collapse. Cohen forces Jack into a twisted art project, murdering Cohen's former proteges and photographing their corpses for a sculpture. His diaries and the wreckage around Fort Frolic show Cohen's descent. His productions grew more violent and bizarre. He tortured performers who disappointed him. He considered himself Rapture's true artist. After society betrayed him, after completed the morbid masterpiece, Jack can kill Cohen or leave him to his madness. Cohen now unlocking the path forward, Jack finally reaches Hephaestus, closing in on Ryan. Along the way, he uncovers diaries and evidence. Ryan originally saw Adam as Rapture's future. Paranoia consumed him when the black market activities and rebellion spread. He unleashed security bots and propaganda to maintain order. At last, Jack finds Ryan in his private office. Ryan calmly reveals the horrifying truth. Jack is not a free man. He's a genetically engineered sleeper agent, born and programmed by Frank Fontaine, Ryan's former rival.
Forced down by something less than a man, something bred to sleepwalk through life until they are activated by a simple phrase spoken by their kindly master. Was a man sent to kill, or a slave? A man chooses. A slave obeys. Come here. Stop, would you kindly? Would you kindly? Powerful phrase. Familiar phrase.
Would you kindly? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch?
Sit, would you kindly? Stand, would you kindly? Run! Stop! Turn. A man chooses. A slave obeys. Kill!
excuses! I slay all things! Obey!
The phrase, "would you kindly," triggers absolute obedience in Jack, controlling his actions. Andrew Ryan reveals the truth in a brutal confrontation at his office in Hephaestus. Ryan controls Jack to murder him willingly, using the "would you kindly" command, exposing the ultimate horror of Rapture. Free will has been obliterated. And here we get the biggest plot twist of the game. Atlas drops his mask, revealing himself as Frank Fontaine, alive and manipulating Jack from the start.
I gotta say, I had a lot of business partners in my life, but you don't forget to say hi to Ryan for me.
Fontaine seizes control of Rapture's remaining systems, barricading himself. Jack, aided by Tenenbaum and the rescued Little Sisters, storms Fontaine's stronghold, using plasmids and every weapon at his disposal, even putting on Big Daddy helmet, boots, chest plate. Jack faces Fontaine in a climactic battle. Ultimately, the Little Sisters swarm Fontaine, allowing Jack to deliver the final blow. Now, depending on the player's actions, whether you chose to harvest the Little Sisters or rescue them, the ending changes. In the good ending, Jack brings the rescued Little Sisters to the surface, raising them as his own daughters. Rapture's nightmare is buried beneath the waves forever. In the bad ending, Jack, corrupted by Adam, leads the Little Sisters to seize nuclear weapons, heralding a grim future. But regardless of the ending, Rapture remains a decaying monument to unchecked ambition. BioShock isn't just a game. It's a warning, a question. What happens when ambition is unchecked? When science forgets humanity? When freedom becomes anarchy? Rapture was a dream. Rapture was a nightmare. And in the end, Rapture was just human. Thanks for diving deep into the forgotten world of BioShock. If you enjoyed the journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Would you kindly?